The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
There's no beer of the week for this episode of MMA to the Max, as this is a very special episode where we interview recent UFC winner Frank the Crank Camacho. We're going to talk to him about his victory, his long road to the UFC, and much more about his career. So enjoy the show. Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode number 22 of MMA to the Max, a very special episode. I am your host, Robert Taylor, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Joseph Hudson, aka Riverside Joe. What's up, Joe? How you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in Southern California.
Awesome, good to hear it. And we are joined by our very special guest, as I mentioned in the intro, recent UFC winner, technical fight of the night winner, even though he was ineligible for the bonus. Very classy guy at that point after that issue. But Frank the Crank Camacho, how are you doing, Frank? How is life over in your neck of the woods?
Man, life is good. Life is great. And again, man, I'm super honored. And thanks for having me on the show, Joe. Joe Riverside Hudson. That's a sick name, man. I like that, dude. And Rob, man, thanks for really humbled for when I got the email, and man, I was super down, and finally here. Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm honored that you agreed to come on the show. I'm a big fan of yours, man. Both of your fights in the UFC were barn burners. Very exciting. Even a lot of your fights in the PFC were also awesome, man. You've had a long road to the UFC, so I'm glad you're finally there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
So what you say you're feeling a little down beforehand. Was that just because the struggle making weight for your previous fight, or what had you down?
Oh, wait. What do you mean? Recently?
Yeah, just now you said you were excited to get a call. You're feeling kind of down or something. Or did I miss?
Oh no! I said I'm totally down for the call.
Oh, down. Okay, that kind of.
You're twisting my words now, Joe. Come on.
All right.
I'm just messing.
Interview's over. Way to ruin that, Joe. Way to ruin the show.
No.
Way to ruin the show,
thanks,
Joe.
Man.
I would say there's no reason for you to feel down, man. Your fight, that last fight of yours was, I don't think I sat down the entire fight, man. It was so much fun to watch. You're such an exciting fighter. It was a privilege to be able to watch now and now get an opportunity to talk to you.
Man, thank you. Yeah, man. I had a lot of fun, dude, and maybe I had a little too much fun, but yeah, man, it was a good time, and honestly, man, and you guys know especially, right? Like that, styles make fights, and man, it takes two to tango, and I just have to give it up for Damon Brown for even accepting the fight. You know what I mean? And actually just going in there and dancing for 15 minutes.
Yeah, because, you came in, obviously, 5 pounds over. He had the option to turn down the fight and still get, I think, part of your purse. Wow,
Correct.
I'm getting a phone call in the middle of my show. That's not cool. The house phone. I'm going to ignore it. Everybody just ignore it. I apologize. But he took the fight, and you guys had the fight of the night at the event at UFC Fight Night 121, UFC Sydney.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there was a fan in the entire arena that was sitting down for that fight. That was a back-and-forth fight, and I'm so glad the judges got it right, because I did have you winning 29-28.
Oh, yeah, man. The 30-27, whoever that judge was, man, thank you. But, man, I felt that, just really looking at it from an outside point of view, I would have to, I don't know if you guys have it right, but I had to give the first round to Brown. To Damien.
That's the way I saw it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he almost finished me, dude. Like, the first choke that he got in was, I was like, no, my chin is down. I'm like, okay, I'm just chilling. I'm just relaxing. And then he threw like an elbow from the back, and I was like, no, what the heck is this? And I looked up, and then it went whap right under the chin, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And then we ended up on our side. He was choking me. He got his hand behind my head, and then all I heard was my corner saying, break, 15 seconds. So then, yeah, and then I just remember it was like kind of in slow-mo, man. And I was like, you know what, man, it doesn't end like this, dude. You know, it's not supposed to end like this. I ended up somehow grabbing his hand, and then it just relieved some pressure. You know, turned my hips and got on top and gave him one more, and then the round ended. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just remember. And then after that, I was just like, man, it's not gonna. It wasn't supposed to end like this. So after we made an adjustment in the second and the third, and then we got the decision. I mean, although man, I try to finish fights. We knew that Damon was going to be, man, tough as hell and durable, you know. So I just had to kind of keep that sustained pace all the way through.
Yeah, you had a couple of times in that fight where you did almost finish him. His toughness was insane. I couldn't believe he took some of the shots he took. Yeah,
and you know, I don't know if you noticed. I had to go to the body a couple times, even in the first round, even from the clinch. You know, just I had to slow him down because he was just. I knew that he has a huge gas tank. You know, if you see his fight with Tuck, he just picks it up in the second round and he picks it up in the third round. Yeah. When he fought my good friend of mine, John Tuck. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just the more he gets hit, the more he just comes like forward. You know, so I had to kind of slow him down with the body and just keep him on the fence. That was the whole game plan, to keep him on the fence.
Yeah, and it was like a great game plan.
Yeah,
it was like you guys were doing your best Justin Gaethje impressions, man, in that fight. You guys were both just biting down on that mouthpiece and slugging and swinging. It was awesome. Yeah. It was amazing.
Oh man, it was and you know what's so cool is that I'm in the fight. I'm just doing my thing. Damon's just doing my thing. We heard the crowd, but it felt like it's a regular fight, right? But I guess after the fight, everyone was like, "Wow, man, congratulations! You know, wow, good fight." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I mean, this happens every win. You know, this is so cool. But then I watched, I watched the fight again, and I was like, "Wow, right on, man!" Damon and I really put on a show, and just super. It was just a good fight. Always, I mean, from as a fan, right? Oh, yeah. Dude, I could.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I could appreciate a badass fight, but as a fighter, man, a good fight is just something that I'll take on forever. You know, that I could tell my kids, I could tell my grandkids down the line. So for that's why it's my. I owe a lot to Damon. You know, like even though we didn't really like hang out after, but guarantee, man, I run into the guy 20, 30 years from now, man, we have a very, very intimate and a very special relationship that we spent 15 minutes together, you know? So.
Oh yeah, that type of blood spilled in the cage on the mat and all that between two guys. That's like kind of like a bond that will never break. So. Man,
100%. Yeah.
And it was a great fight, and it did win the fight of the night. Unfortunately, Damian Brown was the only one to get his bonus on that. But
yeah,
you went on Twitter, on social media, and in the most classiest move I've seen from a fighter in the longest time, pushed for Damian Brown to get your $50,000 instead of just the UFC keeping it. Did they give it to him? Do you know?
Man, I'm not too sure because I know it takes it takes a while for the fighters to get the bonuses. I think it takes like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that for the whole process to whatever. But I'm not too sure. I really do hope so. Because I mean the funds are already allocated. Because I missed weight. I'm not eligible for it, obviously. So. It's a huge price for me to pay, but it's a very, very expensive lesson, and I feel like it's a very well needed lesson, especially for me going back down to lightweight, and I guess I could only take it for what it is, right? And
yeah, for sure.
And the funds are already allocated, and I was like, man, you know what? Yeah, of course it takes two to fight, takes two to tango, but man, man, give it to Damien, like, man, I know I can't get it, man, but give it to him. It's already, the funds have been already around. Or, man, if you absolutely do not want to give the extra bonus to my opponent, give it to someone or give it to a charity, so
Yeah, right.
give it to someone. So that's the way I saw it, man. I fucked up. Can we, let's have someone else be rewarded. You know what I mean?
No, completely agree.
Man, 50K, dude, 50K can help so much, but at the end of the day, it's a very expensive lesson learned, and hell, I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah,
Shit, I almost freaking died, dude, cutting weight that fight.
That was your first fight back at 55.
Man.
It's understandable the weight cut would be harder and different. So last time you fought at 55 was what, 2015? Like 2 years?
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, correct? Yeah.
So that had to be tough, man. And credit to you for taking the fight on and going back down to 55. Are you going to try to stay there? Or are you going to?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I totally knew what went wrong, what I did wrong, and it wasn't, it wasn't on my coaches or it wasn't on anyone. It was 100% on me, and So right now, after the fight, I didn't pig out and do the. Well, I did for like a week, but I've been, but yeah, man, at 55 is where I belong. My debut at 170 against the Leech, man. After the fight, dude, I felt like I got hit by a truck, dude.
It's because that guy hits like a truck.
Yeah. Well, dude, yeah, man, he did, man. And then it was my fault. Why the hell did I put my hands down and have him hit me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
badass, maybe not the smartest move.
Oh no, for sure, yeah, man. If I got knocked out and I slept on one of his right hooks or something, then I would have been questioning it, right? But anyway, at welterweight, I definitely feel, it's pure physics. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then at 55, I felt like the bigger, stronger, and not saying that I could take the punches better, but it's just, man, it's a 15-pound difference than from a welterweight,
Oh, yeah,
I think
physics. The bigger guys they have more mass behind the punches. They're gonna hit harder.
Yeah. Because I remember I was out for like 2 weeks. I didn't want to do shit after the Leech fight. I was like, and then before the Leech fight too, I had a war in one of the fights in Saipan,
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 weeks before the fight. But anyway, 55 is where I need to be, and I'm just keeping my weight down now and just kind of, none of this BSing and this Damian Brown called it, man. None of this amateur shit no more. Man, we're in the big leagues. Like what the hell? Like I trained and I did everything I could to get to this point, and fuck, I'm missing weight on my second fight. Like, if you're really looking from the outside looking in, right? Like, man, what the hell? Man, it was a glitch on my point, and it's very expensive, very, very expensive lesson learned.
That's right, 20% of the purse, missing out on the fight of the night bonus. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh man, dude.
It's okay though, but it's not going to happen again. So.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But hey, man, life is good. Life's great. We live to fight another day, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to.
What I like about the way you handle it is you took on responsibility of not making weight and understanding that, and arguing to give your opponent your piece of the bonus instead of going in there like F everybody else, whatever. I didn't make weight, man. I really like your attitude towards it, because I understand cutting weight isn't easy. It's a very difficult thing to do. You want to, maximize your size in there. So yeah, it happens from time to time, but at least you handle it like a professional, and that's where I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. And honestly, I don't even know where that came from. Like it wasn't like it just kind of came out, and I was like, all right, shoot, And then at the end of the day, man, like, fuck, man, we literally, right, sweat, blood, and tears, into the game. And man, Damian Brown showed up. He did his job. Man, give him the guy my cut. So I really hope so, and I really hope so.
So would you say that you'd be very interested in the UFC adopting the new Associated Boxing Commission weight classes that California was talking about?
Heck yeah, dude! Like a 165-pound weight class is ideal for me, man.
Yep.
I think it'd be ideal for a lot of people. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Because man, at 155, dude, yeah, man, I'm like at 5% body fat at 170, you know?
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, you know,
That is
it's
a cut.
4% body fat at 170. So yeah, so like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's only 15 pounds of water, right? I mean, you know, you like you get like a, you know, you get like a nutritionist or like, you know, like a George will be like, ah, dude, we could do that thing in like 2 days, you know, but a 165 weight class would just be so ideal.
Yeah, you're not draining your body. I mean, you showed you still had good stamina in the Damian Brown fight, but
Yeah, but dude, imagine if I wasn't, dude. So I'm posting up my vlog. I'm posting my vlog this week, and I don't, man. My boy got some footage. Man, it was hard for me to watch, dude. Like I was in the hot tub like all week, or sorry, all week, all the night before, and then that morning, dude. So check this out. I was trained. I put on some sweet sweat, sauna suit, hoodie, sweats, wrestling shoes. I did 7 5-minute rounds of pad work, you know, probably good 60 to 80%. And did the whole mummy thing where they covered me with towels and shit, and then I got in the hot tub. So it's probably like a 2.5-hour session, dude. I only lost 1 pound. Like my body was holding on to everything.
That's hard. You got all that work for 1 pound.
Yeah, all of that work, you know, and the night before. I did a 45-minute session and I lost 8, you know. So I usually do like an 8-pound session, you know. So my body was just freaking out. It was holding on to water, and then so I just messed up on my water loading timing, and I was just like, dude, it was so bad. Like so I was like a 158 the morning of, but they had my coaches. I was out, dude. I don't even really. It felt like a dream. So they had to give me some just a little bit of Pedialyte and a little bit of water, just so I can at least walk to the weigh-in. You know.
It's a shame that USADA forces the UFC to not allow IV rehydrating anymore. Because I mean, to me that helps so many people.
Oh man, for sure. You know, it helps a lot. You know, but then again, it kind of makes guys. Okay, dude, we can IV. All right, let's go cut another 5. You know, so
that's
I guess
a good point.
It is what it is, right? It is what it is, you know.
And
I guess it just really just depends on fighter preparation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that, you know, like for me, like how is it that 90% or 95% or 99% of the roster makes weight fine, you know, without IV, and then, you know, like just all these things just to factor in, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, oh man, dude, this whole weight cut thing is making me sweat, which I needed to do. I needed to do the night before.
I did. I had to interview the night before when I helped you out a little bit talking about.
Right.
I know. I'm gonna call you guys up, man, just so I can freaking make weight. No, I was kidding.
I did a weight cut for a jiu-jitsu tournament once, and to try to get down to a lower weight class, and that was it. I was done. So whatever you guys do to cut weight, whoever cuts weight, everybody that does it and does it professionally, more power to you, because I quit immediately. I cut it once, and I was like, never again.
Jiu-jitsu's a little different too, though. Jiu-jitsu's a little different too, because it's like you get on the scale with the gi, and then it's like you go straight to the mat, you know?
Well, I mean, it was no gi, so it was grappling. Technically, it was a jiu-jitsu in a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu tournament competition in in LA. At the LA Fitness Expo, and
awesome.
Yeah, so it was day before weigh-ins, and I was like, well, I'm about 147. I'm not going to do it at 145, so I got down to 135. Never again. Never. Never. I don't envy any of you that do it. So, but I respect you all.
Oh man, but you know that's when you get guys like George Lockhart, you know what I mean? Like these guys are just mad scientists.
Oh yeah.
You know, when it comes,
Do you work with Lockhart, or do you work with anybody right now for your?
So man, I work with Lockhart, but like I said, it wasn't his fault, man. I pulled the water too early, you know.
Yeah.
I pulled the water too early, so my body started holding on to it. You know what I mean? So I need to contact him and just kind of because man, I think 5 guys on the card were working with George.
Yeah, he has a lot of the UFC rosters working with Lockhart. He you say mad scientist is the best way to put it. He understands the body and nutrition and weight cutting in particular really, really well.
Dude, yeah, and it's crazy. He helps you cut weight during camp and still feel good during camp. You know, it's kind of weird.
I like to think that
important.
that's what a lot of people have trouble with too. Is they wait until the last week to cut weight instead of cutting it throughout camp. I've noticed that a lot of fighters try to do that to try to maintain as much mass as possible, and it's not healthy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I started the camp probably like at 195.
Ooh,
Pretty
dude.
big, man.
Yeah.
You're pulling a Rumble Johnson there, man.
Oh man, dude. Oh my God. Almost. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, you know, back to preparation, right? Like how in the world, dude, why did I get so high up there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. We can go on and on, right, about it, but yeah. Anyway, it was yeah.
So I mean, let's move on from the weight cut though. Let's keep you from sweating thinking about the weight cut. You did get the victory in your last fight against Damian Brown. How you feeling right now, man? How's your body from that war, and when do you expect to be back?
Man, so my surprisingly, you know, so it was crazy because we got to the event and I've never said good morning to people at a fight. Because you know we fought at 11 in the morning and it was nighttime in the States. Right?
Yeah.
It was so we fought. We got to the venue like 7:30 in the morning, or we had to meet up all to get ready for the fight at 7:30 in the morning. So it was weird, you know. So anyway, finished the fight, finished the war. We left around 2 p.m. and I was feeling good, dude. Like I was not sore at all. You know, back to the whole physics of fighting at 155. You know, like just the guys, it's not as. They're just packing less power at 55 than at 170, you know? So I feel good, feel great. I just had my stitches. We just took out the stitches last week of my eye. So I'm trying to get back in, man, ASAP, January, February, March. I'm still staying in shape. Just can't, you know, keeping my weight low and just continuing to keep it low. And man, I would just love to kind of get it back in there and fight another. Man, I want to fight another tough guy, dude. I was
gonna say, do you have a name in mind? Do you have anybody in mind that you're thinking about that would keep moving you up the ranks and also be exciting? Because I mean, obviously, you love throwing down and love having those exciting fights.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I would love, man. I would love like a Diego Sanchez or like a Joe Lozon. You know, I'm not too sure what's going on, but you know, like but I kind of, for me, right, as a martial artist and as an athlete, like I would love that fight ideally, man, but it's kind of like who am I to say, hey, I want to, you know, I'm not the type of guy to get on the mic, man, and be like, Diego Sanchez, you've taken everything I worked for, you know, like I you know, I'm not the type of guy. These guys they've earned their keep, and
that sounded like a jab at Nate Diaz.
I know, right? Nate Diaz,
you said the same thing about Connor.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to do that right after for my post-fight interview, just to call out Connor, just like that, you know. No, but
oh, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been great, right? But yeah, man, I just feel like I you know, my second fight in, my first win in the UFC, I just feel I want to, and I really enjoy earning fights, and I really I enjoy earning things, you know. So whatever the UFC puts in front, but you know, like a fantasy fight, I would love to share the cage with like a Diego or like a Joe Lozon, and I know it would be just such a freaking awesome fight too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a Lozon fight would be
hell
great.
Of a fight.
Yeah. Test your ground game. You know, Lozon is definitely going to, at some point, want to take it to the ground. He's got some exceptional jiu-jitsu and that'd be a good test and a good fun fight for you, too. I think you guys will either end up in the middle of the octagon slugging it out till somebody goes night-night or do some beautiful jiu-jitsu and grappling.
Yeah, you know, and I think and that's what I'm really looking forward to, you know, like, man, obviously you know, I learned so much from this last fight, but I feel like a Joe Lozon would just help me level up my game, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely test your ground game, that's for sure.
No, for sure. Yeah, you know, like, and I was just thinking, like, you know, man, if a Joe Lozon got my back, like the way Damian Brown got my back, you know, like, you know, so that's that. So these are all the things that I'm factoring in, you know, so it's just going to help me evolve and just get better as a fighter, you know?
For sure. I would throw
camp leading to the fight.
Yeah, and I would actually throw Stevie Ray in there as a fight that I would actually like to see you compete against. Stevie Ray versus you would be amazing, man. Amazing.
That would be great, dude. You know who they also mentioned? Oh man, what's his name? He's like a kickboxing champ. Shoot, Drew Dober.
Oh, Drew Dober. Ooh, you and Dober would be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, someone threw that name, man. I was watching his fights, and then no, actually, Damian Brown. Damian Brown was the one that tweeted that. He's like, dude, I would love to see you and Drew Dober, man, go at it. I was like,
oh, that's
wow,
funny.
Okay, that's kind of cool. And then I was watching his fights. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to get kicked by that guy, dude. His legs are like tree trunks. What the hell, Damien? Like, why are you trying to set me up, bro?
Dude,
no,
I appreciate your honesty so much with that.
Yeah, yeah, you know, dude, dude, are you wearing spandex? Oh no, those are shorts, but they look like spandex, dude.
Yeah,
your legs are just so damn big.
He's got thick thighs, man, thick thighs, and he throws kicks like, oh, geez. I love your honesty there.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, honestly, I'm into fight anyone, whatever. I would just love to fight someone that would bring it. You know, I mean, everyone does on the roster, right? You know, there's no walkovers, there's no bums in the UFC. So
yeah,
and anyone would be great, but like someone, oh, man, I'd love to fight someone that would just, I don't know. I've always been a Joe Lozon fan, and you know, eventually like to work my way to fighting someone like that, you know, and then just getting that experience, and then and then working into the, you know, fighting the guys like Justin Gaethje, you know, like, man, that fight was just amazing this past
Wasn't
weekend.
it?
But you know, like, oh gosh, that fight card was just great. But you know, just fighting these type of guys, you know, because I'll just go forward, just keep getting in people's faces and. Yeah, and pressure.
All respect to Justin Gaethje, at least judging by his first two fights in the UFC, and obviously we watched him in the World Series of Fighting, so we knew his style before then. But all respect to him, I think your defense is better. So
yeah,
you don't just sit there and cover up and leave your body exposed like he does.
Man, 100%. You know, he puts his hands up, you know, to cover his face the way that he does, and because he has such good wrestling, you know. But man, Eddie Alvarez played the game perfectly. You know what I mean? He was so
smart. He
so smart.
Unlike Michael Johnson, he was so smart going for those body shots.
100%, dude. And then also too, people were not giving, you know, like on Twitter and I was just looking around. People were not really giving Eddie his, you know, they weren't like commenting on his boxing head movement, dude. He missed.
Yeah.
You know, he avoided so many big haymakers and big shots that Michael Johnson was eating.
Absolutely, and Eddie, they talked about his the damage Eddie took, but they don't take into the fact how much scar tissue that man has from all the wars in his career. So he busts up real easy.
Yeah, and Eddie always gets rocked in every fight, and this one he didn't get rocked. You know, he didn't get hit with any clean shots.
That is actually a very good point. I didn't realize that while watching the fight live. We did our episode reviewing the show right afterwards last night after the pay-per-view, and. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but I did mention, and you probably agree with this. We were talking about it. Eddie Alvarez is the unfortunate victim of the Conor McGregor era, where all these new fans are coming in because of Conor, and the only thing they know about Eddie is the fight with Conor, and he gets no respect.
Oh,
and it's so sad.
It's so sad, but you know what is so cool is just seeing the way Eddie approaches it. You know. And you know, the guy's he's been all around the world. He's won all these titles, and the way he kind of carries himself. Hey, man, dude, this is me. I bring it, and this is what I do. And then after the fight, you know how he kind of mentioned about he kind of took a jab at you know, he jabbed at the organization. I don't think, or you know, not so much Conor. But, you know, he just kind of said, like, man, what's a world title now? If you have guys that don't defend it, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, he's like, man, I'm here to show that I'm the most violent guy, you know? And I guess that's what the fans pay to see. Well, obviously, that's what the fans pay to see.
I mean, it's Conor, right? It was Bisping, it's going to be GSP now. Yeah, nobody's defending their title. It's all about the money fight now, which is a shame because, I mean, as you were alluding to earlier, I mean, I'm sure that just like us, you're a fan of the sport aspect of it.
Oh yeah, man, 100%, dude. I lurk around Reddit all the time, you know. Like, oh man, yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. Like, if I wasn't fighting, I would totally be a super fan. I'll be the guy with the painted chest at the UFC events, you know.
Right. That's what I try to. That's what I try to classify myself as the super fan. It's like, can I fight in the cage? No, not at all. But neither can Errol Hawani. And look at his career. Maybe I can get to there at least.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. As fans of the sport, we appreciate when you guys get in there and leave it all on the line like that. You say they want to see the most violent. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the fans like to see the most violent, and you get some more fans like to see the more technical. But all in all, it's art to me. It's beautiful art between two guys in there displaying their skill set and trying to figure out each other. You can see the problem solving. It's advanced chess. You know what I mean? It's a fucking beautiful sport, man.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate that. What's so cool is that as a competitor, after the fight, we were walking around Sydney by the Opera House, and I pulled up my phone and I was listening to the press conference, and when I heard fight of the night goes to Brown and Camacho, the first feeling I got, man, when these fight of the nights, man, when they happen, it's I was getting a little emotional, I was kind of tearing a little bit because I was like, wow, man, like, dude, I've been, I've believed in myself and I've been doing all of this, but it's just so cool. It's just so cool and it's so humbling, man, to have the fans or have the people, like MMA fans, and just to have the UFC like really appreciate the heart, man, and the heart and the passion that we put in that I put into the fight. I just thought that was really, really cool, and then aside from that, right, like and after the fact, you're like, oh shit, dude, I could get 50K, you know what I mean? But before that, it's like, wow, man, like right on, dude, like, man, I knew I had it in me, and it's just like a really cool affirmation that the fans really resonate with the heart and the passion that we put into it, so yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, guys. That's awesome.
No, I'm a big fan, man. That's why I reached out to you. I was very happy with your fight. So I was very, very glad that you agreed to come on the show, man. I figured just seeing other interviews you've had, I was like, man, I'd love to talk to that guy. Just talk to him about his career. Yeah. Just shoot the shit about fights and all that. But so you were also talking about, you mentioned Joe Lozon and Diego Sanchez, former castmates on Ultimate Fighter. You had a shot at the Ultimate Fighter and lost the exhibition bout by decision to Neil Magny at 170. What took so long for the UFC to come calling? You went on. You were like 12-2 at the time, and you didn't debut until you were 20-4. It's like what?
Yeah, Yeah. You know what it is, man, and this is me just trying to be honest. At the end of the day, man, the UFC is a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I come from a very, very small island group. I come from the Mariana Islands. I'm from Saipan, and I born on Guam. I'm from Guam. So I'm from the small island group, man. Maybe a total population of maybe maximum 220,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I got that amount in my city.
yeah, man, or the outskirts of your town, right? Like it's it's pretty small. It's a small island, dude. Like the island I grew up on was 14 miles by 7.
Oh wow,
that's small.
Small, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank So, you look at the business aspect. Man, I lost to Neil Magny. I was like, fuck, dude, what the hell, man. Had a good first round, then I ended up, I got tired second and just got my ass whooped because I was super, super, super tired in the third. Got back home, I ended up moving home and then started fighting in PXC, started fighting in trench wars again, and trying to get back on my road. But the plan was for me to kind of build my name in Asia, or in the region that I'm in. But I think what I struggled with was I didn't have a guy vouching for me. I didn't have a manager for all those years. After the Ultimate Fighter, all the way to like 2016.
So you were booking your own fights?
Yeah, I was booking my own fights. I was doing my own thing. So I mean, small island community. So PXC and Trench Wars, they're all local events around this area, and then they also branched out into the Philippines. So I knew the guys. That the promoters. So I was doing my own thing, and I was like, okay, I just got to win fights. I was doing this. So I was doing, man, up 20 fights later, right? And then I was just like, man, what the heck's going on? Man, you have these guys fighting in the UFC, like they do like 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, like 4-1. Like, man, what the fuck's going on? So I just kept going. And then eventually I signed with Iridium Sports with Jason House.
I follow Iridium Sports. Yes, yeah. Okay.
So I signed with Jason. Man, great dude. And for 1 year, he just said, okay, Frank, man, I'm gonna start pushing your name. Just continue to get fights. Just continue to get wins. And man, let's do this thing. And I was already communicating with Joe Silva at the time. And then he left. And I was like, ah, shit. And I lost my connect. So then Jason's been on it, man. And Iridium Sports has been on it. And he just almost called quits, man, at one point in 2014, because things weren't just happening. Bills are racking up, and it was just a really, really dark time, But I just stuck at it. And the goal was just to build my name in Asia, and then eventually, after signing with Iridium Sports, we got the week and a half, the 2 week last minute call, because the Leech's opponent got injured,
Yeah, Jonathan Murner.
Yeah, and dude, that was a fight that changed my life.
Yeah, and you got the $50,000 bonus on that one, because that won Fight of the Night as well for that event.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, So after that fight, when they raised his hand, I was like, oh man, I fucked up, dude. Like, I was supposed to win this fight, you know what I mean? Like, I was supposed to come in here and have a good showing, Instead, I got my leg beaten up, and man, I lost, whatever. And then finally, when we got on the bus, on the way back to the hotel, I was listening to, they're like, Frank, everyone on the bus was like, dude, you got Fight of the Night, man. You got Fight. I was like, man, shut up, dude. And then we put on the press conference, and I was just like, whoa, that's when it really kicked in. I was like, wow, man, that is so cool. My debut, man, people appreciated it. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was well earned. Like, it was totally well earned. It was an amazing fight to watch.
Yeah, and then that fight and the whole UFC experience in Singapore, I was just like, you know what? I was like, fuck, man, this is what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? I was put in this world to do this. I mean, for of course a small window, right? But man, at this time of my life, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and it was a long road to the UFC too, because a lot of people may not know this, just because of how kind of new to the mainstream you are now being in the UFC. You've been fighting since 2005 professionally.
Correct. Yeah,
that's 12 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, it's been a long time, So I've been chasing this thing ever since, bro. And see for like the educated fans, you know what I mean? Like yourselves, and it's it makes you appreciate it even more,
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, but no, we appreciate you fighting, to be honest. I mean, we're not trying to sit here and just stroke you left and right because you came on our show, but I mean, I'm a big fan of yours. I think I love what you bring to the octagon. I love what you bring to the table. So I'm glad that you're finally in the UFC, and a lot of people are getting to see what you can do. I mean, both fights in the UFC, you're 1-1, but both of them are Fight of the Nights. And your loss in the UFC is a short notice to the Leech, which is not a shame. Losing to the Leech is not anything to be ashamed about. The guy is really good.
Especially short notice.
Yeah, especially short notice and a weight class that you're not usually competing at.
Yeah. I mean, at this level, So it's like, it was. I learned so much through that Leech fight, and then, man, I'm just so glad I'm finally in, and the UFC and the fans in the UFC are stoked to to match me up with these guys and stoked to have me like perform, you know, like, fuck, man, I just love fighting, dude. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. I just really wonder, man. So I really wonder who, man, I'll definitely keep you guys posted, right? But man, I don't know who or what. I just can't wait to lock another fight in, man, and just get rocking. You know what I mean, dude, man, I'm still in good shape, you know. So
have you had any contact from anybody? Because you're fighting at 155, so that would be Mick Maynard at this point, yeah.
Say again.
Have you had any contact with anybody in the UFC about a next fight yet? Because fighting at 155, that would be Mick Maynard that you'd be talking to.
You know, actually, yeah, but you know, I'm totally not doing it. My manager's doing all the talking. So
oh well, yeah,
yeah. So I just gotta just stay ready and then give me a name. Yes, no, okay, and then well, probably most likely 100% a yes, and then let's do it. You know. Yeah.
On a selfish note too, actually, I have a name that I would love to see. He made his UFC debut on short notice as well recently at welterweight. Alex Reyes. He lost that fight on 3 days' notice to Mike Perry. He's actually a local boy from my area.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Dude, he's good. I was watching him outside of the UFC before that. He was a champ, huh?
Dual champ at King of the Cage. Yes, sir.
King of the Cage champ. Dude, that guy's the man. And he looked really small against a Mike Perry, you know, but man, he took the fight on short notice. Against a freaking monster, right?
Right.
Holy cow, dude, like short notice against a gorilla, dude. Like,
yeah, and he's definitely going back to 155, and I think you'd be a great fight to welcome him to the division.
Oh man, the guy is tough, bro. Man, not only tough, man, he's good, dude. I think that would be a really good fight too, man.
I think it would be great. I think you guys would put on a hell of a fight. So there are so many good fights that you could put on with anybody in the UFC, man. That's just your style.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's it. You know, and I think anyone, I guess, you know, the only ones that I'm not looking forward to are like the wrestlers that are just gonna hold me against the fence and try, you know, like. But either way, I feel like my style will still make it exciting.
I think so, and you know, I think your ground game is. There's some elite wrestlers that'll probably be able to hold you down, but that's not going to be an exciting fight, you know. I think you make the scrambles to get up and keep it on the feet. You're not just a pocket puncher, you know. You've got good mid range, in and out head movement. So you know, I think you'd be able to keep them at bay for the most part. And once they feel your power, then they're just going to be shooting from way outside.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's the plan, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, just man, and I just love it, man. I just can't wait to freaking scrap again, man. I can't wait to do this again, man. So then, yeah, dude.
All right, so we talked about you talked about your career a little bit, talked about your fights and all that. Let's just get a little fanboy questions for you, man. Like kind of stuff like who's your favorite fighter to watch besides watching your own fights?
Like now or of all time?
How about both?
Yeah, both.
Man, you know, for the longest time, dude, I had two guys. It just so sucks that the new fan doesn't really know about him, but Fedor, of course.
Yeah.
And
goat.
Man, huge Vitor fan, man, back in the day, you know, the old Vitor. I just love his explosiveness and the weight, you know, just the aggression and, dude,
Vitor, he could have, we don't know what his career could have turned into had the situation with his sister not happened. That's a shame.
Man,
because his career fell off after that whole situation with his sister, and by the time he recovered, it kind of was a little too late. I mean, he had a good run coming back, but I mean, his career could have been so much better.
The TRT exemption, you know, that was great for a while. That helped him a little bit.
Man, well, TRT Vitor, you know, this is what I meant.
So I'm glad you said Fedor, though.
Fun to watch. What's that?
I'm glad you said Fedor. Fedor Emelianenko, man, that guy does not get the credit and the respect that he deserves nowadays.
I know, and it's kind of tough for me to watch him fight now. You know, that
fight with Fabio Maldonado over in Russia. was just that was horrible to watch. I could not. I didn't agree with the decision, but I just could not watch that fight.
I'll say, man, what are you trying to do? You guys trying to kill him?
Right?
Yeah, the ref letting it continue.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. Yeah, it's just tough. But yeah, man, but that guy would just leave, live and die by the sword.
Absolutely. And what about current fighters? Who do you love watching?
Current fighters, man. Dude, I love watching Daniel Cormier.
Right? Another guy who does not get the respect he deserves.
Yeah, I love DC, dude.
How do you not love him? He's the only person he loses to is John Jones, who's arguably one of the greatest of all time.
Not clean. So
like a not clean John Jones. You know,
there's an argument that Daniel Cormier is still undefeated,
and I would have a hard time arguing against that. His only 2 losses come against a guy who apparently has cheated twice. I mean, caught twice. So
yeah, big time.
Yeah,
man, I not only cheated in the UFC, man, but it's like cheating life, bro.
Right?
I mean, I feel bad. Like, who am I to judge people, right? But man, like the whole hit and run thing, like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Not the first time when he got the Bentley. The first time he won the belt, the UFC gave him a Bentley.
Wrapped around the pole.
In Vegas. That was in Vegas, right?
I believe so. Yeah, he just.
Man, I totally remember that. Article.
Yeah, it's just a bummer. He's got so much natural talent. He's one of the most gifted athletes in the world and in MMA, and just some bad decisions. And again, I'm speaking as a fan. I just want to see the guy fight. I love watching him fight. I'd love if he had life together too. You know what I mean? That'd be great because you need both of them. You need to have your life and your shit together in order to maintain a professional career. But man, 100%.
You know who's another guy that I really enjoy watching? It's Kelvin Gastelum, dude.
Yeah, his boxing is so good, so crisp. You talk about head movement.
That knockout of Bisping was beautiful.
Oh man, dude, and this is at 185. Dude, man, Gastelum.
See, he's somebody that needs to pick up Lockhart because he should be fighting at 170. He just needs to get his weight under control because that guy is a champion if he can just manage to get his weight under control. I have a hard time believing he can do it at 185 just because of the size difference. But, 170, man. I'm with you with Kelvin.
Man, do you think – I think he would do so well against a 185 GSP.
Well, yeah, because they beat both welterweights. Unfortunately, GSP's got that colitis that he's out with. So,
oh man,
which is a shame. How convenient avoiding the Reaper.
I know, man. How convenient, dude. Oh, gosh.
When you see so as a fighter, somebody that's working his way up, and like you said, you like to earn your opportunities and earn your stripes, so to speak. How did things like this make you feel when you see a GSP coming back after 4 years in a different weight class and getting an immediate title shot, or a Conor McGregor who wins a title and then immediately gets a lightweight title shot, stuff like that? How does that make you feel, like as somebody who thinks that everything should be earned and you want to earn everything?
I think for me, I'm probably like probably very easy, pretty easy going, and just kind of like, hey man, everything happens for a reason, like a Conor, man. Hey, the guy is changing the game, like if at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, man, the UFC and MMA, it's not a league, it's a promotion, and if it were a league, then the right people or the people that have earned their shot will be getting the shot. Like in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers can't just talk mad shit and have the best marketing and then fight and then play in the Super Bowl. You got to win your games. You know what I mean?
So we don't need to talk about the Steelers.
City.
Here we are getting into the into the football game. But anyway, Anyway, it's at the end of the day, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a promotion, and it's not a league. And and at the end of the day, man, we're entertainers, man. As shitty as it is for fighters, or as shitty as it is for athletes, because we're considered athletes. Yeah. But I just feel like, man, you just got to do what you got to do, it's just for me. I just happen to think that, being myself is my best bet, and I got to do the best that I can and what I can get, with being myself, because, there's a saying, it's not how much you deserve, it's how much you negotiate, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a great saying.
At the end of the day, man, it's, at the end of the day, man, it's not how much you earn, or it's not how much you deserve, it's how much you negotiate, and a guy like Connor, man, I'm not in his shoes, I'm not nearly near his shoes, and like a GSP, man, these guys, they have it down somewhat, some way, but for me, man, that's not my thing, dude. I'm not able to do that, I won't be able to sleep at night to do that,
So with that said, talking about promotion over league, what are your thoughts on the push for the Ali Act coming into MMA as a fighter, as a fighter in the UFC? I'm sure you might have seen the video of Mark Wayne Mullen going at it with Ratner at the Congress hearing recently, talking about rankings and everything like that. As a fighter, how do you feel about that? About the Ali Act maybe getting spread to include MMA, where eventually it would be UFC, and Bellator present, Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor, stuff like that.
Oh man, I know the Ali Act is, but I've never really followed boxing to really see. I don't even know the intricate like legal details of like what it takes to promote fights, or because I just how the Pacquiao Mayweather fight just took so freaking long to happen because of all these negotiations and shit.
Oh yeah.
But I just feel that I think the Ali Act's great, man. I think it's just gonna help grow the sport. You know what I mean? I think, dude, man, fucking just give me freedom, dude.
Well, it's like you say, it's not necessarily what you earn, what you negotiate, but the fact that the promoters hold all the information. How do you really know what your worth is? They don't actually specifically tell you what your pay-per-view numbers are. They don't do all these things. They don't tell you what they truly gross on a fight. You're like, So in my mind, if that information at minimal was made available to the fighters, then now you have some actual chips to negotiate with to negotiate what your real worth.
Man, 100%, man. Just transparency. You know what I mean?
That's the word right there. Absolutely.
Man, man, fuck, dude. I mean, it's our choice, right, man? I'm getting in the cage. I'm getting my head punched in because I don't know if I'm just crazy, but I just love it, But I understand that that I can only do it for a small window of my life and my career, right? And of course, I have something planned after, right? But man, like for the guys that are doing, like man, just be transparent of all this shit, dude. But yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's not how much you deserve, man. It's how much you negotiate. And Connor and GSP and all these guys that are making, like man, you get like a oh fuck, dude, a Mighty Mouse,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
My favorite fighter right now, personally. So.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, same here. I think if you take a Mighty Mouse and you just kind of, if you had like this machine to kind of make him grow into all these different weight classes, I think he'll be the champ in all the weight classes.
Thank you, pound for pound best. Thank you. That is exactly how you figure out who's pound for pound best. You said it perfectly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you take a Mighty Mouse, dude. You make him, you grow him into a 135er that's proportionate and everything, dude. Champ.
Easily.
Hopefully, we're gonna find out soon. Champ. We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Man, but he's a little. Yeah, we'll see, right? Because he's a little guy, dude. Like I remember, because I'm really good. I'm friends with like Dominic and team and the Alliance, and man, I just remember when Dominic fought him at 35, dude. He was such a little guy.
He was.
He doesn't.
But he also wasn't doing it full time at that time.
So. Yeah. Then again, yeah. He was not the DJ that he is now. But yeah, man.
He had a full time job.
Construction, right? Was that
yeah,
later?
something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, dude, man, what an outlier, man.
And speaking of Dominic, man, what a shame that is that he broke his arm, and we're gonna miss out on him versus Jimmy Rivera.
I know.
Oh man, yeah. So I kind of wonder man. But the thing about Dominic, man, what I'm so stoked is that a few years probably before he had his knee thing and everything, he was just 110, 150% fight, champ, world champ.
Yeah.
And he was just so obsessed with it and everything, but it was so cool to see the evolution of a Dominic Cruz after those injuries and now being able to, man, live life, like appreciate all these other things and appreciate the little things because of, the clarity that this injury had to, open up, So it's just really cool to see. And it's really cool to see that he's not stressing out or not so bummed about, of course he's bummed, right?
Yeah, of course.
Man, the guy's a fighter at the end of the day, but it's just so cool to see the clarity and just to see him, because at the end of the day, right, man, we have life to deal with after this career, right? So it's just so cool to see Dominic, grow in that manner, man.
Well, as much as I love Dominic and this show, my co-host and I, we were big followers of WEC, so we saw Dominic Cruz rise up. As much as I love watching him fight, I would not be upset if he gave it up and just stuck to being a commentator and an analyst, because his mind...
He's so freaking good, dude.
Yes.
Right.
He is so good. When I watch fights that he's commentating on, that he's the color, the analyst, I learn so much more about this sport than I thought I knew. Like, he's so good the way he explains everything. I mean, if he just wants to retire and call it a career and just stick to that, I would not be upset about it, because he's so good at what he does. Not to say I don't want to watch him fight still, but when it comes to that, he's so good.
Yeah, no. Man, for sure. And also too, like, I think he would be an excellent coach.
Yeah.
Because of how he dissects fights.
Oh, easily, yeah. The way he dissects, and he's able to see, like, you brought up the Steelers earlier with football. Tony Romo retired from the Cowboys and went on to be a commentator, analyst, and he's able to see plays as they're lining up, and he's able to call it while you're watching it. He's like, oh, this is going to be a pass. Oh, he's going to do this route, this route. That's kind of like Dominic Cruz when he's commentating on fights. He's able to see it before it's executed. And
oh man, 100%. Yeah, and he changes it on the fly,
Yeah, he's so good. And,
so it kind of makes you think, like, wow, how good or how, like, what the heck did Garbrandt do? You know what I mean?
He peaked in my mind.
Yeah.
Huh?
He peaked in my mind. That was the best best Garbrandt that Garbrandt's ever going to be.
Dude, that was wow.
Dominic mentioned it himself. Team Alpha Male has had 13 shots at him, so they've been
him out. Yeah,
forever.
That's very true.
And they finally got it right with the right combination, and the hand speed and the head movement that Dillashaw possessed just happened to work right. And I'm going to be completely, in all honesty, I think that once Dominic got cut, it changed his game plan and made him more of the aggressor, and he's a bit more of a counter striker. He uses his feints and his off footwork to get people to come towards him. He counters. After he got cut via headbutt or kick, whichever it was, I believe it was the kick, it changed his game plan, which fell right into what Cody does best, Yeah, and
has Cody just, man, counter, man, he'll just throw a step back combination, 100%.
Yeah,
that's what I personally don't see Cody looking better than he did in that fight. Like I said, I think he peaked. So I think that was just his best performance of his career that I don't think will ever be replicated.
I hope not, because I think there's a lot of potential in that kid, man. He's marketable. He's fun. He's exciting. I know I haven't been hot on Team Alpha Male with their whole feud against TJ, but I don't know. We'll see. I think there's more in him. But that's me.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So, I mean, we're taking it's Monday morning where you live, right? Where you're at right now.
Yeah. Monday, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's about 3:12 p.m. over here in Southern California. We're at. We're not going to take up too much more of your time. I just got a quick question, and then we'll let you enjoy the rest of your day.
Oh yeah.
What is
heck yeah.
What is your favorite fight of all time?
Ooh, wow.
I actually, somebody, one of my friends wanted me to ask you that. He's a big fan as well, so I had to make sure I asked you that.
my greatest fight of all time. Oh man, you know what fight always sticks out is man, it's I don't know, I guess this is kind of random. It's Frankie Edgar Tyson Griffin.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Edgar's UFC debut.
Yeah.
Edgar's UFC debut, and I think UFC was 67 or some shit like that. It was something crazy, but yeah, I don't know why that fight comes to mind, man. I mean, there's a lot of great fights, dude. There's DC Gustafson, there's Gustafson Jones, there's Mark Hunt, Big Silva. Was it the first one?
Oh, the first one that Silva tested positive for. They went in 5 rounds. Yeah, that was insane.
That was insane, and then oh man, then just thinking of like the Yancy
Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald too.
Rory McDonald too, yeah, but I don't know when you asked that question, the first thing that came up to me was that one, because I think that was the fight where I was just like, wow, dude, these guys are bringing it, And
by the way, you're 100% correct. It was UFC 67. That's
hey, was it UFC
damn
67?
Good job.
Yeah. That was really well done.
I'm so bad. Card was. I remember the fight, but I couldn't tell you the card or anything. I'm so bad at that.
Yeah, it was Tyson Griffin, Frankie Edgar. I just remember this. They're talking about this Jersey kid and whatever, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy's gonna get wrapped,
Yeah, Tyson Griffin was dangerous.
Tyson Griffin was killing people, and it was because of Tyson Griffin that I have that. Well, also too, I'm a huge Rocky fan, right? But Tyson Griffin always came out to Eye of the Tiger.
He did. That's right.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he always came out to Eye of the Tiger, and I just remember like, wow, dude, that is so freaking hype. And I'm a huge Rocky fan, so that's why I come out to Eye of the Tiger. Thanks, Tyson.
That was also UFC 67. That was a main event of Anderson Silva not defending his title against Travis Lutter, because Lutter missed weight after winning that Ultimate Fighter season, and the UFC debut of Mirko Cro Cop. So
yes,
yep.
And that was against JDS, right?
No, his debut, not his return.
No.
That's
his
right.
debut, he fought what's
Eddie
his name?
Sanchez.
Yep.
Eddie Sanchez. There you go. Yeah.
Robert's looking at the card online. I know it.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Oh yeah, because I mean, he said UFC 67. I had to look it up to see if he was right, and he was spot on.
Oh yeah, dude, that's crazy. Right on. Yeah. So I think right now, I mean, I guess I have different moods, but right now I have to say, since I said it already, Tyson Griffin, Frankie Edgar, UFC 67.
It was a great fight. It was a fantastic fight. So that one fight of the night that night. So no, there's nothing. Yeah, you don't have to explain that, man. That was a great fight. Tyson Griffin was on a roll. Frankie Edgar made his UFC debut and gave Tyson Griffin his first loss.
Yeah, dude, I felt like that was the turning point of Tyson's career.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't really the same after that. After his first loss.
Yeah, that was a turning point of his career, dude. Because he was on a roll.
He was. He was
unstoppable.
Yeah, he was 8-0 when he fought Frankie, and he lost by decision. He did win 4 after that, but all of them were decisions. That he did not look very impressive. And then it just went downhill after that. Yeah, including going 0-2 in the World Series of Fighting recently. So, well, not recently, a couple years ago, but he hasn't fought since.
Yeah.
Well, Frank, do you have anything you need to plug, man? Your Twitter, your Instagram. I know you have a website.
Man.
So
yeah, man. Yeah, so man, guys, for everyone just tuning in, thanks for tuning in, and man, most importantly, thank you guys for having me, bro. Man, I really appreciate it, dude. I always
seriously
love
our
talking
pleasure.
MMA.
Seriously, our pleasure, man.
Yeah, man, it was a good fun interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I guess just everyone just keep posted, stay tuned. Maybe fighting sometime first quarter of next year. You can catch me on Instagram at Frank the Crank, or search me on Facebook, Twitter. Just search Frank the Crank Camacho. Crank Effect on Twitter. Yeah, just stay posted, and man, again, I appreciate you guys having me, bro. It was cool. Let's do it again. When are we gonna do it again?
We could do it again, man. We could do it again anytime. I have no problem. You're a great interview, man. We seem to be striking gold with our interviews. We've recently our first fighter interview was Jose Shorty Torres, Titan FC dual champion.
Nice.
Yeah, like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
We've talked to him twice, and then we talked to Eric Anders, who's fighting this week on UFC Fresno. Really cool guy. Yeah, so you're our third fighter, and I appreciate that, man. We're still new.
Thanks,
like I said,
brother, man.
You heard me, episode 22. So
yeah, episode 22.
So no, we appreciate you coming on. You're a good interview. You're somebody that can carry the interview, man. We don't have to worry about you going silent.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, Frank. I appreciate it, man. And yeah. Hopefully you get that next fight booked pretty soon, and yeah, we'll definitely be calling. We'll want to talk to you again soon, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So just stay posted, and as soon as we get the details and lock everything in, man, yeah, we'll definitely connect and talk about it.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Look forward to it. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, man. And
Thanks,
we'll
guys,
talk to you
man.
soon,
Rob, Joe, you guys have a good Sunday, and man, keep it rocking. And I'll hear from you guys soon.
I will do.
Take care, Frank. Take care, brother. Appreciate it.
Take care. Right. Shoot.
Right, bye. Honestly,
yeah,
really great guy.
Great guy. Great interview. I didn't realize it was already an hour, man. I thought it was only 20 minutes.
It was like our first interview with Shorty. It was just
we were
just talking to the guy, and. Time just flies. I love talk. I want to have this guy on the show again, just because he's a great interview. He's a great guy to talk to, and just like he was saying, just talking fights. He's a fan.
Yeah, that's what works. I think the guys that we've had the opportunity to interview are also fans of the sport that they happen to be exceptional athletes at. So that makes it fun for us because at least we can relate to them on one level.
Yeah, he's a fan, and he's a great guy to talk to, man. I love that he threw out Frankie Edgar versus Tyson Griffin. That was an amazing fight.
That was a great fight and a good call out for
that actually nowadays doesn't get talked about enough when it comes to best fights in UFC history.
Yeah, it's true, and it should be because it is one of the best fights. And that's Frankie's coming out party. If you're a fan of Frankie and you didn't see that fight, you have to go back and watch it.
Well, I mean, I would think maybe. I mean, it was his UFC debut, but I would say his victory with Sean Shirk was his coming out party. But.
Yeah, that was a big surprise, too, because Shirk was so big and so muscular, and Frankie always was a small 55er.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he never cut weight for it. I mean, Frankie, I still think, can make bantamweight. But
yeah, I think so, too. And I think he's
so. I mean, Frank the Crank Camacho, man. Great guy. Great fighter. Love watching him fight. 2 fights in the UFC. Lost his debut on short notice. Won his next fight, even though he didn't make weight. Both fights fight of the night. This is going to be 2 fight of the night bonuses. This guy is going to become a fan favorite. He's like another Justin Gaethje, excuse me.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje type fighter where he just comes forward and he's ready to fight. But he doesn't just sit there and cover up like Gaethje does.
No.
Well, and that's not a slight on Gaethje because it's worked his entire career, but Frank has better defense. Camacho has way better defense than Gaethje does, and it's going to serve him a lot better in my mind.
Sure, like he mentioning Lozon, I think that's a great combination and a great comparison because Lozon has like the most fight of the night bonuses out of anybody. I think Camacho can do the same thing. Just his fighting style, his skill, his chin.
Yeah, and like we were saying, he's a fan.
Yeah,
a fan first. I mean, he's a fighter first, a fan second. It might be a fan first, fighter second. He knew who Alex Reyes was. Like he's seen his fights in King of the Cage and all that before. Like you're a hardcore fan. You're not, or I should say, you're not a hardcore fan. I don't know how to say that, but you know you're a hardcore fan if you know who Alex Reyes is.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, yeah,
clear-cut sign. Yeah, he wasn't in UFC until just recently. So if you're familiar with his previous work, then
yeah,
you're obviously
and the fact
a fan.
That he knows him, that's awesome. He's a fan. He's watched his fights and he knew he was a champ in King of the Cage and all that. He knew he was a champ. It just, I love guys that are fight fans like that. Fighters that are fight fans. That's awesome to me.
Yes. I agree.
Damn, what a great episode. I'm glad we did a separate one. We didn't like tack it on to the other episode from last night.
This episode way too long. This is much better. We should do our interviews as separate interviews. But we'll work out it. We're still
Well,
on episode.
I mean, we probably could tack them on as long as we just keep the reviews like at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. We're still working it out. But all right, Joe, we're almost finished here. Why don't we get your social media pushed out?
Social media plugs. You can follow me on Twitter at JoeHud45. Follow me on Instagram at MMA to the Max Joe. And as always, it's the number 2 for the MMA to the Max. Robert, what you got?
I love how monotone you are when you're saying that.
Well, I
just
do it
like
on purpose.
MMA to the Max Joe.
The Max Joe, because I want to make sure I speak that clearly, that everyone understands, so they don't type in MMAA, TOO or something.
For dry, red eyes, clear eyes is awesome.
You can get a hold of me on Instagram at MMA to the Max.
Well, let's not push that far. I'm sorry. All right. Yeah, if you want to find me on Twitter, it's at It's Rock Robster. You want to find me on Instagram, it's MMA to the Max Rob. Find the show on Facebook at facebook.com/MMA to the Max podcast. Find the show's Twitter page at MMA to the Max Show. If you want to find all of our episodes, you can find them on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and any other place you can find any podcast that you want to listen to. And as always, visit our parent site, w2mnet.com. Find all of our episodes there. Find all of your needs for entertainment and sports, including wrestling, movies, football, soccer, baseball, basketball, television, all that good stuff, and of course, MMA to the Max for your MMA coverage. That is w2mnet.com. Check us all out. And on that note, Joe, you got anything to add?
Not one word.
All right.
You said it all, my brother.
For my co-host, Joseph Hudson, I am Robert Taylor. This has been MMA to the Max. We'll see you next week. Take care.